Churn Dash is a traditional quilt block that is easy to make and versatile to use. But today, I'm going to show you how to make one that finishes at 5 inches. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pojagi, and embroidery. So today I'm going to show you how to make a Churn Dash quilt block, but this block finishes at 5 inches. So if you like making small quilt blocks, this one is perfect for you. So this block uses 2 different fabrics, a light and a dark, and to make this block you are going to need 2 3-inch squares of each fabric, and then with those squares you are going to make a total of 4 half square triangles, and they're going to be trimmed to 2.5 inches square. So using these squares, I use the most popular method for making half square triangles. So you can click to see the full detailed tutorial for how to do that. But basically, that's the method where you have a diagonal line and you stitch a 1/4 inch away on either side and then cut them apart, open, press them, and trim them. So you're going to end up with 4 2.5 inch half square triangles. And if you want to make those using a different method, that's fine, but they're going to be 2.5 inches square. And then you're also going to need 5 1.5 inches square of light fabric and 4 1.5 inch squares of dark fabric. And once you have all those pieces ready, then we're ready to begin assembling the block. So this block has a light square in the middle, and then north, south, east, and west of that is a dark square. And then on the edges beyond that is another light square. And then in the corners, we have their half square triangles with the dark triangle pointing towards the inside of the block. So this Churn Dash, because it finishes at 5 inches square, and 5 is not easily divisible by 3, it doesn't give us good numbers that we can work with, I've changed it so that the outer pieces are all 2 inches wide, and then the inside piece is 1 inch wide. So I just changed the math. Whereas if it was a 6-inch block, it would probably be 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. This is 2, 1, 2. So the first thing we're going to do for the block construction is we're going to join all these pairs. So a dark square and a light square, and then when we come back, you'll see it'll line up nicely. So now these pairs are made, we can see that it will line up. This should be 2.5 inches long, just the same as the half square triangles. And they're going to go in those spots. So now it's going to be just a common block construction. We're going to join these pieces into rows and then join the rows together. So here we can see the rows have been stitched, and on the rows we're going to press these seams away from the half square triangle, so they're pressed toward the inside. And then in the middle row, we're going to press the seams away from the outside, so the seams go underneath the dark fabric. And this will do 2 things. It'll make it easier when we join these 2 pieces together, because the seams on the back are offset. They're going in opposite directions. And that also means that this seam at the top is pressed flat. We haven't pressed that diagonal seam back on top of itself, it's flat. So that will help eliminate bulk when we're joining this block to something else. If this was pressed back and then this ended up being pressed back, that could be a big bump in the seam. So pressing it this way will just help eliminate some of that in the future. So now we have our 3 rows, and we're just going to join those together. And there it is. This cute little quilt block should be 5.5 inches, so it'll finish at 5 inches. So if we compare it to a traditional 12-inch quilt block, you can see that the ratios are a little bit different, but the shape is still the same. So have fun making this little 5-inch churn dash. For more quilt blocks, quilt tutorials, patterns, and inspiration, check out my website, epidastudio.com.